Focus on love. Love what's in focus. Aim for above because the ceiling's bogus. Focus on love. Love what's in focus. Aim for above because the ceiling is bogus. Focus on love. Love what's in focus. Aim for above because the ceiling's bogus. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Famous Rapper Convos. I am David Prorock, and I have a very special guest today here on the Famous Rapper Network, Chow Mane. Chow Mane, you want to say what's up to people?
Yeah, what's up, everybody? Thank you for having me, David. I'm Chow Mane. I'm out here right now in San Jose, California. And yeah, we just about to get started, I guess.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm excited. Chow Mane has been putting in work the last 3 years, developing his artistry, putting out music. He started out with Mooncake's EP in 2017. He dropped an album in 2019 called Simmering. He dropped another album in 2020 called San Jose Summer.
South Bay Summer, close.
South Bay Summer.
Yeah.
South Bay Summer. He is in San Jose. I'm in Oakland. I went to a Chow Mane concert. I saw you perform live in 2017.
Oh, really? When I was first starting out?
Yeah.
Wild.
It was like Jordan Garrett and Call Me Ace.
That was at Neck of the Woods, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's back when me and Jordan had our Rush Hour project going on. So that's probably the songs we were doing.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. So here on Famous Rapper Convos, what we're here to do is, give artists a platform that have a positive message and perception changing music and, just allow you to take control of your own story. And so the first question that I always ask is, in about 3 minutes, I want you to think back, starting when you were first introduced to music, up until today. What is the full story of you as an artist?
Okay, yeah. So my first exposure to music, I came from my mom, she came straight from China. So she was in this network at this Chinese church in Seaside near Salinas, and everybody was sending their kids to piano lessons and whatnot. So my mom did that when I was 5 years old. She sent me to the YMCA to do piano lessons from this white lady. Her name is Frances. And
Nice.
she got me this at the time Costco was selling those Yamaha keyboards. They were $100, so she got one of those. And then I started playing basically just keyboard based on my YMCA lessons. And from the jump, I wanted to make my own music. So in first grade, I remember I had a talent show. Maybe not first grade, maybe second or third grade. But I had a talent show where I made my own song just on the piano. It was kind of trash, but I was 6. But fast forward to, I would say maybe middle school, eighth grade ish. I found in my garage. My mom had remarried by that time, and my stepdad, he moved a bunch of his stuff into the house, and he had some of these old gaming headsets because he used to play I don't know flight simulators or whatever. And so I took these headsets and I started recording stuff over instrumentals on Audacity. And not only that, I was recording myself doing covers on the piano too, but they were really bad quality. But I was doing covers of Korean songs. I'm not Korean, but I found Korean songs. I did covers of I remember I did one of Radiohead, Fake Plastic Trees. Lonely Island came out. I did one a cover of I'm on a boat. I called it I'm on a raft. And I just put these all on MySpace, and that was kind of my start making music. And then probably when I was in ninth grade, a friend introduced me to FL Studio, and we started kind of producing together. We had this group where we made kind of this kind of electronic music, but on the side I was making beats too, because there were a lot of rappers at my school, and I was just trying to tap in. And around that time, I think Odd Future was really big, so everyone was trying to sound the beats that Tyler had on his first project on Bastard and whatnot. So I was trying to make really gritty beats and whatever. And yeah, that's kind of how I started out doing it. And I was rapping myself as well, but I didn't go ahead and start working on Chow Mane as a project until I think 2014 or something. I had these old songs on SoundCloud, and I didn't really start doing it super seriously until 2017, like you mentioned, where I did my first official releases. I put together Mooncakes, I started doing shows and all that stuff. So it's been a journey, man. But here we are.
Nice. You're a little bit under time. You got like
Oh,
30
okay.
seconds left if there's
I
anything
can
you want
keep
to fill
going
in.
then, man.
Tell me more about the last year.
Yeah, the last year. So the last year has really been a lot about well, I forget it's 2021 now. 2019 and 2020 were a lot about, I think, going out, kind of networking and just working with a bunch of artists and studio sessions. You know, towards the summer and end of 2019, I started going out to LA more and linking up with a bunch of artists down there. And we kind of have like this like little network going on right now where it's the same people pulling up to every session and whatnot. And it was going pretty well for a little minute until, you know, lockdown hit. We were making a lot of cool music like consistently every session, like 5 6 songs, and just pumping out maybe like 20 a week, just having a bunch for the catalog and whatnot. And a lot of the music this year that I'm planning to release is stuff that I think we did back in like 2019. A lot of my stuff is like a little backlogged, you know, like South Bay Summer. A lot of those songs I did at like the beginning of 2019 or like late 2018, and we didn't
Mm,
release them until, you know, last, like, what was it, August or something, or September. But you know, right now I'm just going off of a lot of this music that I've been working on the last like 2 years, and you know, this year is going to be a year of a lot of, you know, releasing singles and putting out a lot of the stuff that we've been working on. And yeah, you know, that's pretty much it. You know, lockdown
cool.
like stopped a little bit, but you know, really kept everything going, just at home.
Nice. Yeah, that's great. And so if you were to look forward over the next 12 months, like what do you hope to do with your music and what do you hope to accomplish in the next 12 months?
Well, the next 12 months, I have a lot of releases lined up, but this year I'm also focusing a lot more on my label. I just recently signed 3 artists, so I'm trying to push them out a lot more. The first 2 that we're rolling out, one is Sahi, who I've been working with, you know, since like 2016, 2017. But he like more recently, within the last year, found his sound. You know, he used to rap a lot more, but he realized like his slow like singing stuff is like really hitting. So, you know, releasing a lot of his stuff. I think he has a EP coming out like Valentine's Day, and then we have like a collab project this summer. Another artist that I'm working on is the singer Wes, who I released a few projects with last year. And, you know, he's been going through like kind of a rut. So I'm helping him like rebrand and work on a few other things. And his rollout should be around like the summer. But in the meantime, like while I'm focusing on that, I'm trying to focus on my own stuff too. So, you know, I've got a lot of singles lined up. I think the first one is gonna be like end of this month. Got an EP following that called Little Saigon, which is you know, talking a little bit about, I guess it's an expansion of like South Bay Summer, but it's gonna be like less lighthearted and more like personal a little bit. And then yeah, just got a bunch of other stuff lined up for this year. I guess where I see myself at the end of the year is, you know, hopefully we built up the team to a much stronger place. And you know, really this year for me is about all planning for 2022, because by the beginning of 2022 I'm trying to hit a tour for the whole Five Spice Entertainment Group, and you know, hit a bunch of other big things.
Cool. That's great.
Yeah,
So you first got into music when you got a piano and you were like six
yeah,
years old. And
yeah,
you've been making original songs since then. You made an original piano song when you were 6. That
yeah.
was kind of trash. You
Yeah.
made original music when in 8th grade. And in 9th grade, you got first into FL Studio,
Mhm.
advancing from Audacity.
Yeah,
You did a bunch of projects there, but you didn't really focus on becoming a rapper until like 2017.
yeah,
When you that at that point you started making a lot more songs with a more focused sound and like an original style.
right.
Um, and since then, you've just been like making lots of music. And I was very impressed by the number of music videos you had out on your YouTube channel,
Oh
like
yeah.
professional music videos. I was like
Yeah, yeah, they
blown
have
away, honestly, by the
done
quality.
by all different groups. I mean, recently, one of my business partners in Five Source Entertainment, he also just started a production company called NYW Media, and you know, they've been doing all of our shoots recently. So the one that we just released, Islands, we actually shot that one back in like early 2019. But you know, that was done by them. It just took a long time because they wanted to go the whole film festival route, and you know, there's like a lot of stuff we had to wait on. So there's that. I can't remember, a lot of videos that we have shot but not released yet have been shot by them as well. I just came back like yesterday from Dallas to do the shoot with Jackie Faye, and she hired out, you know, our FSC team to, you know, shoot the video for her and everything, and it's coming out looking amazing. So yeah, there's a lot of cool visuals in the works.
Great. So you for 2020, it sounds, or I mean, for 2021, it sounds like it's mostly you have projects already made and you're kind of like rolling it out while working on other artists and like building up this team and this label.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I think at least for the like first 6 months of 2021, and maybe even the second half, but you know, I definitely have a plan on which singles and videos I want to release this year. I think the different artists on the label have different needs, depending on, you know, they have different work ethics and different, you know, styles of doing stuff. So definitely just helping them out as well and making sure that they kind of reach the same level that I've gone to independently, you know, in the last 3 years, but like this year, and hopefully everybody builds a solid foundation.
Nice. How did you do that? Like, what strategy did you take in developing yourself as an artist? And also, how do you decide what music to release when?
So I think for me it was a lot of trial and error, and I'm still working on figuring stuff out. But I found like a few avenues that have been most successful for me. You know, the first few videos that really, well, the first few songs that really like put me on the map, that happened because of the music videos that were attached, and because in those scenarios it was like pretty much like influencer marketing. So I'm referring to like the Mooncakes video and like the ABG video. These popped off because of, at the time when I was first starting out, like not really knowing anything. Me and like for ABG, it was me and like the director. For Mooncakes, it was just me, but we would go and look for like certain these niche markets like influencers on like YouTube. So for those which are particularly very like relevant, I think, to like the Asian American culture, we would find like Asian American influencers and YouTubers and have them either do like reaction videos or, you know, post about it. So for Mooncakes in particular, there was a YouTuber at the time, Tony Montana 301. I'm not sure if he's still doing videos. We paid him like $25 or something, and he did like this reaction video to Mooncakes, and it just like by chance, you know, he attached it to like this video of this Asian kid like breaking ankles and like you know, a basketball court in like a high school, and like this like super short Asian kid who's just like beasting on the basketball court, and for, you know, most of his videos they didn't get like crazy numbers, but that one in particular, I guess just because of the title, clickbaity, and what was going on, that got like millions. And it just so happened that, you know, he did the Mooncakes reaction video on that video. So just residual, you know, my video jumped up like 100K or something, just off of that one like reaction. For ABG, it was a little different. You know, that song was more like funny. It was like a meme song. So we were able to hit up a lot of like the meme pages, and they were like reposting like a lot of like small clips. And one of my friends out here, Ty, who runs Asians Never Die, which is one of the bigger like Asian meme networks on like Instagram and Facebook, he reposted that video on Facebook, and there it started jumping up on Facebook, got like 400K views on Facebook in like a week. And then like from that, a bunch of other pages started like ripping it without like consent and like reposting it on their end. So that
How
was
do you feel about that?
I mean, I don't, you know, I don't really mind. I was starting out, it was just like free publicity, you know. I would see like randomly my video would pop up on the feed from like some other page, and it'd be like a few 100K there. I'd be like, okay, well, if I, you know, it doesn't really matter for me on like Facebook, because, you know, people don't really go there for videos anyway. It just happens to pop up on feeds. So yeah, that's kind of how I started out, you know, the buzz a little bit, and then trying to follow that up with like more serious stuff. So with my simmering project and the singles I put out in 2018, you know, a lot of that was just testing out different things with like, you know, digital advertising, you know, like social media marketing. Like we worked with some like publicists and whatnot as well, and just seeing what worked and what didn't work. And you know, at this time, we kind of have like a digital like ad strategy in place that we're going to start rolling out for some of these new artists that were, you know, we tested out a little bit towards the end of last year with another artist named Leo, and he's the one who's actually running these campaigns, and they're doing pretty well now at this point. So hopefully, you know, can keep it up.
Nice. That's awesome. So compared to like looking at Mooncake's EP and your two more recent albums, the styles are very different. Is that intentional? Like, are you planning on staying there, or do you have other songs that are more like the style of Mooncake's EP?
Yeah, so Mooncakes was a kind of a collection of a lot of those songs were from my earlier years, like messing around. So like, I forget what was on it, like Dumplings, Jackie Chan, Da Da Da. Like those are songs I made back in like 2015, 2014. And at the time when I was making Mooncakes, I was working with Jordan Garrett. And he was like the main engineer and he was helping me plan the rollout and everything. And at the time, we were trying to figure out an angle and like kind of how to frame this project and these videos and whatnot. And Mooncakes was the only new song I had from 2017 that I put on the project. The other ones were like we went back to my old catalog and we like listen and try to figure out which ones maybe would fit this vibe and also that sounded good enough so that we could re-record them and engineer them, whatever. And so that was what happened with Mooncakes. And after that release, since the theme of that project was like talking about the Asian American experience and whatnot, and the viral videos were like Mooncakes and ABG, after that, a lot of industry people that we were talking to would be like, okay, so he's like Asian Lil Dicky, or oh, he's trying to be like, talking just about Asian stuff on his music. And I could have ran with that route, but that's not really what I had with any of my other music. It was really just like a few songs that came out on that project. And so, the next project I put together, Simmering, I wanted it to be to showcase like a little more versatility and whatnot. So that's why that project, I don't even know if I should call it an album. It sounds more like a mixtape just because it's not as like cohesive. It's just a lot of like different styles put into one. And I would say, I was kind of still trying to find my sound and what I felt, most comfortable, you the type of like hip hop or the type of music in general that, I like working on. So for South Bay Summer, I think that project was a lot more cohesive. I went back to kind of my roots of, you know, listening to like Bay Area music and whatnot. I wanted to do my own spin because a lot of people popping off in Bay Area hip hop are all from like East Bay or North Bay, or like, even further like 209 or up in Sacramento. But I feel like San Jose has its own like unique culture, and I kind of wanted to put on for that on South Bay Summer. And a lot of like San Jose artists are doing like cool, interesting stuff. I think a lot of more like the poppin' artists kind of do sound, maybe don't have like a specific San Jose sound. Like a lot of people sound like they're from Stockton, or whatever's hot right now. So I wanted to kind of add some of this flavor that was what I thought the hometown sounded like.
Hmm. Cool. That makes sense. Personally,
It's
I have
been
no control over this, but I think if you came with an album like Mooncake's style, like take what you learned from these last two projects and then bring in
yeah,
more of that kind of like viral Asian Lil Dicky type
yeah,
music. Like I don't know, I love it. I think it sounds great.
yeah.
Um, okay, so my next question here is, so imagine that you could show 1 million people one song. Which song of yours do you think is like the best song for people to listen to as your first introduction to Chow Mane?
I would say like that I've worked on in general, or that's out right now.
It would have to be out.
Okay. I guess the one that's most reflective of the stuff that I'm dropping in the coming year is Ice JJ Fish from South Bay Summer.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Why that one?
That one's like pretty upbeat. It's a lot of fun. The lyrics are like really sarcastic with a lot of the shit that just kind of in line with a lot of the South Bay Summer stuff. That kind of stuff comes a lot easier to write and to, I guess, like pump out. And a lot of music that I've been working on has been more in that vein. Like back before like 2018, or no, before like 2019, it used to take me like weeks to like perfect a song. Like I wanted to make sure every like bar was like would hit and everything. And since then, like after starting to work in actual studio sessions with a lot more people outside of just like me and Jordan, I realized like, damn, like I could pump these out in like 30-40 minutes because that's what like everyone else does. So it's just like having to keep up that speed. And I think like with Ice JJ Fish, I was able to do that. But at the same time, keep that like same energy where like every bar I felt like was stupid and funny in its own way. And I have the video for that one coming out, I think like next month or in like 2 months, as well with Guap Dad that we shot last summer. I personally, I kind of don't like the video that much, but it's done already, and we have to release it. But it'll be cool. It'll be a vibe.
Nice. Cool. So my next question is, what is your experience with freestyle rapping? When did you first learn? I assume you know how. I've heard
Yeah.
that your dad and uncle like to freestyle, but I'm wondering like how you first got introduced into freestyling, and how did you learn? And how does it influence your style now?
Yeah, I'm not that great at freestyling. My dad didn't, my uncle did. But I guess the context would be like the freestyle that I think I was referring to. I'm assuming you saw like an interview like talking
Yeah.
about it. My dad and uncle, they didn't like freestyle. They didn't do freestyle rap, but they listened to freestyle, the genre of you know, like Stevie B, like Lisa. You know, it was this like genre that was big in like the 80s and like the car scene and whatnot, where I don't know, it was like really fast. I don't know really how to describe it, but it was lit. But in terms of like freestyle rap, I would say yeah, I'm all right. I'm not crazy about it. The extent of how I use it in like music is just like sometimes when I'm driving and whatnot, I'll like freestyle. And sometimes like a bar will come out where it'll like be something that's like actually could be like a cool normal bar, and I'll like go write it down. But the extent otherwise is like, you know, I'm not really one of the artists that go into the booth and just like freestyle like for the songs. I know I work with a lot of people who do that, just like bar by bar, you know, come in and just like freestyle a bar and then punch in, freestyle another bar. That's not really like my style of work, but you know, I work with people who do that and I appreciate it. So it's cool.
Okay, cool. So you don't do it very much.
Yeah, yeah, not a whole lot. But occasionally when I need ideas and I can't like figure if you know, I think especially like just for if I need to figure out some flows on a song, like if somebody gives me a feature, it's not a type of music that I normally work on.
Hmm. Is that something you're interested in learning, practicing more, and learning how to do better?
Yeah, I've been meaning to, you know, like this dude from San Jose, Young Monk, he's been trying to hit me to go on his Tank Shit Tuesdays freestyle show. It's kind of like Sway in the morning, but I keep putting it off because I'm like, yeah, I know I'm just gonna fuck
Yeah, you're
embarrass
not ready.
me, but you know, at some point soon.
Okay, cool. That sounds good. My next question is, what would you say is the secret to becoming a famous rapper?
Oh shit. Well, I think definitely consistency, branding, and content. I think like there's a few rappers who are doing, you know, all three really well. For me personally, I know I'm lacking on some of the more like content aspects, and the branding part took me a little while to wander into. But you know, I think one thing that a lot of independent artists and artists like first starting out don't realize is that like the music is just like one small part of, you know, the package. And like, you know, you can have like amazing music, but without the branding and the image behind it to give people like something to consume, it limits your audience to, you know, hardcore music heads, which is maybe, you know, not a majority of people. So you know, I think another aspect of that is just like with social media and with like I guess the way people communicate nowadays, the way it is, the content has to be like beyond just like videos and music, and into just like stuff that can permeate people's like lives in general. And you know, I don't really have a lot of stuff like this just because, you know, this isn't really not my forte, but definitely like artists who are the most successful right now are ones that can create great content consistently on like TikTok, go viral on Twitter, you know, just depending on, I guess, like what kind of audience like you're going for, and what kind of music you do. Like these different like platforms are really, you know, great ways to go about. Even like, you know, Twitch, you know, think outside the box of just like the normal platforms. Like I think that's all key to just keeping yourself like relevant and keeping you know, keeping your brand like developed into something that people are gonna be able to associate with something.
Great. That's a good answer.
Yeah.
What are three things that you learned about yourself in 2020?
Three things I learned about myself. Damn. Well, I think I realized that, yeah, I don't know, a lot of shit happened in 2020, man.
I know, right? It's
I
a
mean,
long year.
what are some example answers? What are three things you learned about yourself?
Three things I learned about myself. Well, I learned uh, my personality archetype is called logician. I learned that about myself. I
Oh,
also learned that
how'd you learn that?
if I don't go for walks regularly, my mood will just be shot. So like
Hmm.
I have to go for walks and get outside. And I also learned that I could improve a lot in how I communicate with people.
Okay. Okay, those are all pretty solid. All right, let me see if I can follow up that with something. Well, let's see. This last year, I broke up with my girl of 5 years, so I learned a lot more about myself and just like, how I kind of like spending time alone, and what the type of things I enjoy doing. I learned that you know caffeine helps a lot with getting work done.
Hmm.
I wasn't ever really like a big coffee or tea drinker, but just every time I realized like I would do it, I'd just be able to sit down for like 10 hours and just knock out a bunch of like logistical stuff or whatever like in a day. um so yeah, caffeine. I would say I also learned that I guess just to be like a lot more like comfortable and secure with my everyday and who I am and what I like doing, and that just like I'm my own person and all that. So yeah, I guess nothing too crazy really.
Cool. So you've done a lot of collaborations,
Yeah,
and I want to know like for you like what makes a good collaboration and what makes a bad collaboration.
I think a good collaboration comes when you are completely having fun with it, especially just like uh, especially if it's an in-person session like in the studio and just like catching that vibe. Like there's a lot of people I work with that I like collaborating with because they kind of take me out of my comfort zone. I wouldn't say those are like usually like good or great collabs at all times, but they're interesting. So like for example, when I work with a lot of people in LA, like most people are doing, I wouldn't say most people, a lot of people are doing like trap beats or like songs that are a lot more like when I record and they go ahead and put the processing on, it's like a lot more like Travis Scott effects, like Nav effects, like this more like I guess like polished, like dark sound. And that's not really like the kind of music I normally like to do. But I just know like every time I'm pulling up to a session in LA and they want me on a song, it's usually a trap beat. It's usually a trap song. So I gotta like adjust and do that. But versus, the most fun collabs I've had are usually, just kicking it with the homies at like home at a home studio or just like a studio together. And we're just like making shit that we just want to make, shit that makes us laugh, shit that makes us, say like, damn, this is hard, whatnot. So yeah, I think it really all comes down to like energy and like, yeah.
Okay, nice. Do you have any go-to ad-libs that you like to say around the house?
It used to be tasty. I haven't been saying that much as much anymore, but uh, like I wouldn't say like my own ad libs, but I'll say random shit all the time. Like recently, I just like my boy TJ always is going like, "You feel me?" like after every word. So I started saying that, for everything. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Sometimes I say the Larry June, "Hey." That's pretty
Nice.
catchy.
I like to say skirt.
Yeah, that's a good
I'll
one.
say it like all the time. Like if I'm doing something,
Yeah,
I'll be
just
like
alone, just
skirt.
vibing, like sitting in your
Yeah.
bed. Skirt, I'm about to
Yeah.
get up. Yeah.
Great. So this next question is kind of a different question.
Okay.
I'm wondering, are there any like stories or fables or like parables that your parents or relatives have told you that have kind of stuck with you, like a story with like a moral attached to it?
Interesting. Um, the only one I can think of is when I was a kid, my mom used to read me The Monkey King, Sun Wukong, the yeah, who like Goku's based off of and everything. And he used to travel across like China with the pig dude and the old guy, I forget their names. I don't really know if there was a moral to those stories. There probably was. Let me think. Yeah, there's not really that many like stories with morals that I can think of off top, but you know, sometimes during the new year, like my grandma will tell me stuff. For example, like when was it like a few years ago when it was like the year of the dog? I was born in the year of the dog, so like your year is like bad luck for you. So my grandma was saying like, okay, this year you got to watch out. She's like, you know, don't wear. Uh, she told me don't wear red that year, and she said like somebody's gonna backstab you this year, so you gotta like watch out for that. And bad stuff's gonna happen to you. Yeah, just so all this stuff like during
Oh
that
my
year, she was
gosh.
like, be extra careful. Like this year's gonna be a terrible year for you and stuff. And yeah,
Wow.
I think that was back like I think that was maybe 2016, 2017, maybe. Oh shit, I don't remember. I'm
Was
sure
it
we
true?
can.
Did you get backstabbed?
I don't know if I did. I think my car got stolen that year, but
Oh,
you know, not really anything crazier than that that I can remember.
nice. All right. My next question. What are three things that you drink that you think more people should drink?
Oh, water. I think a lot of people. I know people that don't drink water at all, and just like live off White Claws. So definitely water. I have been taking like a lot of these supplements recently, but you know, green tea for sure is good. Like a glass of green tea a day, a cup. You know, get a little teapot, and get some quality green tea, not like the little tea bags that have like the plastic stuff in it, but you know, something from like your local tea shop. A lot of good antioxidants, and then let's see what else. Once in a while, some pomegranate juice for some antioxidants too.
Nice. I don't think I've ever had pomegranate juice.
Yeah, I only started doing it like this last year because all the COVID stuff happening, but it's supposed to boost your immune system. But it does have a lot of sugar, so you know, once in a while.
Oh, okay, okay. Have you ever had suja juice?
Suja juice, no, what's that?
It's like a green juice. It's like the name of the brand is Suja, and it's like a cellar. It's like a bunch of green stuff mixed together, and then it's
Oh,
pretty popular in
I see
San
what you
Jose,
mean.
I think.
Yeah, I've seen this before. I never tried it though. Okay, cool.
It's good. I
All
buy
right.
that from Target. I get like a big jug. It's like a couple liters, and then I just like drink it straight from there.
Yeah, I'll look into it. It does look good for you.
Yeah. All right. So we've been going hard on this interview for like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Do you need a break? Do you have any
No,
questions that you want to ask me?
man, let me think. What do I want to ask you? Actually, no. I guess most of the questions I would ask you, you kind of covered in you know, through text like beforehand, like just all the context that you gave about your company.
Okay, for sure. Cool. So I'll just keep going with my
Yeah, keep
questions.
going. Let's bust
Because
it
Chow
out.
Mane, I'm wondering, what is the biggest decision that you made in 2020 that you want to stick with in 2021?
Oh, the biggest decision. Oh, well, you know what? In 2020, I started producing again. Before that, I hadn't really produced since like 2018. I just like took a year off because I didn't really feel that inspired, like with, you know, I guess that much from music that was coming out and also from like the type of stuff I was making. I feel like it wasn't like up to par. But you know, late 2020, me, Sahi, and Dana Mar started this group called Bago where we're just like fucking around and making music that we wouldn't make normally under our own things. So it's like a lot more lighthearted. But I've been pretty much like producing exclusively like for that group, and like the stuff that we're making is pretty. I don't think anybody else is doing the sound. It's like it's like soft, but it's aggressive, and it's goofy, but it's fun.
Wow.
And yeah, you know, I think
Soft,
definitely.
aggressive, goofy, and fun.
Yeah, yeah. We only have one song out. It's a Christmas song. We it's like all the stuff that we're trying to do is all about like juxtaposition. So you know, like that first song, I took the Mariah Carey, you know, All I Want for Christmas, and I flipped it. And every beat, I'm using like the same 10 drums, just like these super aggressive like Bay Area drums, and you know the stomps, the cowbells, the little things, and putting them over like super soft samples, and then just like adding a bunch of like anime sounds and gun noises and whatever to the track, you know.
Yeah.
so
Typical.
so yeah, you know. So we did that. We shot a video for it, and we're shooting another video for another flip I did of Danamar. He has a song called Green Tea and Honey, which was like one of the viral hits for him. Which was like a super cute soft love song. So I just flipped it, made it super aggressive. Yeah, I think that's definitely something I want to start working on more. Like as I'm getting back into the producing game, it's opening a lot more doors into going back to my own sound. Cause like back on Mooncakes, like most of those beats I produced myself. Um,
That's amazing.
and so, versus like Simmering, I think I only produced like 2 songs on there. And like South Bay Summer, I think the only song I produced on there was San Jose. I think the other 10 or 9 songs were. Oh no, it was Xanadu. I produced Xanadu too. But yeah, like I only did like 2 of my own songs on there. So definitely like going back into producing this year.
Cool. I love Mooncakes. That's a great song.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm kind of doing the same style as I did back then. Is like taking a sample, flipping it, and just like kind of adding these drums that kind of fit the pockets of the beat. So yeah.
Cool. The question I asked earlier of like what the first song you want people to listen to, I would probably pick Mooncakes.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to hear that you're going more into producing like that.
Yeah, I probably would have said Mooncakes like a few years ago, but I feel like, there's only so much to be said on that topic. So I'm probably not gonna have like a lot more music in that vein. I maybe have like 1 or 2 songs right now that are kind of topically, similar, but we'll see what happens, where inspiration comes from the next year.
Okay. Yeah. What I liked about that song was that you talked about like your family and your relatives, and like it was like a lot of storytelling. Um
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Actually, that is a good point. There's a lot of storytelling songs I have that I have not put out, or like that I have done with other people that they have not put out yet. But some of those are some of my favorite songs I've done. And they're yeah. I guess there gotta be a balance because I don't have good stories to tell all the time, but on occasion when I do have them, I'll have them. I would say that the two to look out for if they ever come out are "Time and Place" by Late Lee, where I have a verse on, and that's probably like one of my favorite verses I've ever written. And we shot,
Lately, put it out.
yeah,
What's
we
going
shot
on?
a video for it and everything. It was supposed to come out November 27th last year, but it did not. He's pushing it back more. But
Hmm.
it's been about I recorded that end of like 2019. Anyway, that should come out sometime this year. And this other one with Nady that I wrote called Never Coming Home Again. Uh, there was a period last year, when after I broke up with my ex, I wrote a lot of songs, a lot of sad songs. None of those ever came out, but some of them might. And there's some cool storytelling, I think, in a few of them that the few people that I've heard it, said hit pretty hard. So um, hopefully at some point, maybe later this year.
Cool. So I just want to check in. It's 11:45. Do you have to hop off, or take a few more questions?
I could take a few more. I got until noon.
Okay, cool. That sounds great. Yeah, I just have a couple more questions. One of them is, what would you say is the greatest mixtape of all time?
Oh, probably No Ceilings by Lil Wayne. I know that's probably like a standard answer, but that's like when I was in like high school, a lot of what I listened to was like No Ceilings, The Drop 3, like Dedication 2, Sorry for the Wait. All those like Wayne tapes were like on heavy rotation. And probably just a lot more in this era that I was listening to a lot was like Mac Miller, Faces, Macadelic, Juicy J, Blue Dream and Lean, all these, I guess, like 2012 projects. I
Cool.
feel like that was a golden era for mixtapes. But yeah,
What
that's
about you ever listen to Childish Gambino Royalty?
oh, I did. Royalty was a good tape, and his ones before that, the I Am Not a Rapper series.
Yeah.
He was like his shit. When I first listened to him, I was like, damn, this dude's like the nerdy Lil Wayne. It's cool.
Yeah,
Like
totally.
he rap over these like indie beats, and you have the same caliber of like punchlines and whatnot, but just like with a different flavor.
Yeah. Okay, so my next question is, do you think together we could put together like 10 songs that you have unreleased to drop as like a secret mixtape?
Yeah, we could probably do that. Like, I don't mind. There's definitely, yeah, I think that'd be cool because the way with like release plans nowadays with especially for like artists who only have like a relatively small following, it's really a lot about like trying to play the Spotify algorithms and Apple algorithms, and like they only let you submit one song per release to get playlisted, and you have to wait like every 3 weeks. So that's why like a lot of people right now are just doing singles even if they have full bodies of work, is just because like the more singles you put out, the more chances you have of one of them, landing like an editorial and then reaching a bunch of new fans and whatnot.
Hmm.
So it's kind of harder to drop a lot of new music in that sense, and at the same time, the music that you drop all has to sound like, oh, maybe this could fit on like internet people. This could maybe fit on like Rap Caviar or whatever.
Hmm.
Versus like maybe some of the more personal songs that aren't necessarily like a hit, but are still like really dear to you. Those are songs that I would usually say for like an album, or even just like wait for something like this to
Yeah.
put it out on, where
Yeah, I've never
like
done it before, but I think it'd be fun. Like I would like go through we could go through your catalog, and then I would want to like, well, we could work together, but I don't know, like curate like just like 10 of like the most fire songs from your catalog, even ones that you think you might not never release, you know?
yeah, we could do that. I think it should be like probably a combination of ones that are out and ones that aren't, just like a little sneak here and there. But yeah, we
Okay.
could figure something like that out. Yeah, it'd be cool if you made that into a series with other artists too.
Yeah. I just when I was watching your interview last night, you mentioned that you had like a bunch of songs that would never go like might never go out because of the reasons you just said. And then I was like,
Yeah.
oh well, I could do that with people that I interview.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, yeah, because that it's just how it is. Like, I'll record like all this stuff in like maybe like 2019, and then I feel like after a certain point in time, you just kind of get tired of it, or you're like, this song is maybe not going to fit for a release ever. Or maybe like if I ever do like deluxe albums or like attachments to projects, um, I could do that too. But yeah, this
Yeah.
is a cool concept.
Cool. Yeah, the thing that like Lil Wayne and Big Sean have been doing is
Mhm,
like re-releasing old music, like using the concept of an album to
mhm.
basically drop like playlists of songs that they've created. So that's something that you could consider
Oh,
as
I didn't
well.
know Big Sean was doing. I saw some of the Lil Wayne album like releases on Spotify. So I could see that he was doing something like that. But yeah, that's interesting. Definitely like those are artists that have like people who remember those those old songs.
Yeah. Cool. So my next question is, so one of the things that I love more than anything else is listening to full albums.
Hmm.
Um, and so I'm wondering like what you think are two of the greatest albums of all time.
Oh, I think Outkast ATLiens is one of my favorites of all time. That's like one of the few, I think, hip hop albums that, for me personally, just give me kind of this feeling of, I think the storytelling is crazy. I think the emotions that it evokes are crazy. Just like there's a lot of feeling in it, and yeah. So I'll say that's one. Let me think another album that would be in my top. Let me check. Let me check my listens. Let me check my listen history on Last FM.
Okay, okay, for sure. Maybe you would recommend one that I wouldn't otherwise listen to. That's always
Mm,
fun. Somebody
okay.
recommended like a French hip hop album from 1997, and then I listened to that and I was
Oh,
like, this is dope.
that's
So I don't know
interesting.
if you have any
Okay.
deep cuts like that.
Let me think of some deep cuts. I mean, most of the music that I've been listening to recently has just been like a lot of Bay Area music. But in terms of like a full album, let me think of who has put out a solid full body of work. What there's one that I've liked a lot, which was I think last year, maybe like 2 years ago, I Am Sue put out a project with Cool John called The Pop Up Volume One, and I think a lot of people have been like, I Am Sue. He was like his heyday, or I wouldn't say heyday, but when he was like really buzzing really hard back in like 2012 and 13 with like Wiz Khalifa. He was like buzzing super hard, and then like people kind of just like forgot about him outside the Bay for a little minute, but he's been putting in like a lot of work, and I feel like his music's gotten better since like that time. So A lot of his stuff has like a really fun energy. I would say the Pop Up Volume 1 and his other project with Cool John called like six piece chicken nuggets. Those have been ones that I've had on heavy rotation in like this last year.
Nice. That's good. I don't think I've heard those, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna dig
I
in.
mean, I don't know about like favorites of all time, but those are definitely ones that, have helped me through the year.
Speaking of helping you through the year, what are three moments that you're grateful for from 2020? Like specific memories that you have that you feel
Mm.
gratitude towards.
I feel really grateful to Wes Fang, the singer, who, kind of helped me through some tough times earlier last spring, and who, is now going through tough times or has been in the last like 6 7 months. That we kind of we especially at the start of lockdown, we kind of stayed together for a while, just like making music for like a month in his studio. So like I think that was a time that was like really important in our life, both of our lives, and just like kind of figuring out like who we are and like kind of the stuff that we want to talk about and stuff that's important to us. So I think that for sure was one big moment. I think another moment has been like towards the end of last year. My mom, she's moving to Florida, so like spending a lot more time with her, helping her pack and like move stuff. And I'm gonna go back on Wednesday actually because she's moving like this weekend. But that is like a big transitory period in like both of our lives too, because after she moves out, I'm not gonna have any connection anymore to Salinas, which is where she lived and where I went to elementary school and high school and everything. And all my friends from Salinas too, they like everybody moved out of there. Nobody's there anymore. And my dad moved out when I was like really small. He moved to San Jose and everything. So yeah, that was a big moment. And I guess the other moment would be like during the summer. I spent a lot of time with Sahi, the other artist that is on FSC, and we kind of did the same thing I did with Wes, where we just like made a ton of music, put together collab projects, developed each other's sounds a lot more, figured out like a lot of the vision stuff on where we're going. So those would probably be like the big moments. Bonus for FSC, the label, like me and my other business partner, Wes, different Wes, we're able to finally set up the paperwork, set up everything going. All the legal stuff is taken care of. So got some investors, like 3 investors now who are funding us. So it's cool.
Nice. That's actually a good transition to my last question. FSE, Five Spice Entertainment. This is your
Mhm.
record label.
Right.
And I'm wondering, in 2021, like, who do you think would help you reach your goals the most that you're not already in contact with? Whether it's a specific person or like a type of person, are there any pieces missing?
Yeah, I think definitely one piece would just be still with the marketing stuff. We kind of have a basic grasp on like some digital strategy that we're doing. I think like what we're missing from our team is a crucial like I guess like a head of marketing who can help push everything out, because like we have strategy, we have music and video sections all like tailored out. And yeah, like somebody who can help with marketing, somebody who can help with publishing. That's all stuff that I'm trying to figure out all on my own right now. So that would be super helpful. Aside from that, let me think. Yeah, aside from that, I think like, musically and visually, everybody kind of has their brand on point. I think it's just like incentivizing and mobilizing people to hop on what I was telling you about earlier with the content creation outside of music. So like hitting the TikToks, hitting the, Instagram Reels, whatever, and doing stuff outside of music. That's keeping the brand strong. Definitely like it's hard enough motivating myself to do it, so it's even harder to motivate other artists to do that as well.
Yeah.
um yeah.
All right, cool. Well, Chow Mane, it was a pleasure talking with you. We are deep in this
David,
interview.
appreciate it. Pleasure
Yeah,
talking to you as well.
I learned a lot. Make sure you go check out Chow Main's music if you haven't yet. And for the rest of the time, as long as you want to take, like if there's anything that you want to say or that we haven't talked about that you want to make sure to mention. Um,
Yeah, no, I mean that's pretty much it. Thank you for listening. You're watching all the way to the end of this, podcast. Hit me and David up on our socials. You can also hit up Five Spots Entertainment, Five Spots ENT on Instagram. We just kind of started out, so not much there yet. But in the future, like all our releases will be showcased there, like a portfolio. So it'll be cool. And yeah, thank you everybody.
Cool. Make sure to like and subscribe and share this video with future Chow Mane fans. 2021 is going to be a big year.
Yeah.
2022 especially coming in with that world tour. So
hopefully we execute everything right this year, so 2022 can be perfect.
Yeah, let's get it. Share this video with a friend, and make sure to subscribe to my Substack, famousrapper.substack.com. That's where we will be dropping that secret mixtape with Chow Mane. So
hit that Substack.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much. Yeah, have a great day, Chow Mane.
All right, have a great day. Peace.
Thank you. Focus on love. Look what's in focus. Aim for above, cause the ceiling is bogus. Focus on love. Look what's in focus. Aim for above, because the ceiling's bogus. Focus on love. Look what's in focus. Aim for above, cause the ceiling is bogus. I wanna lay down a never-ending road. We never go to